Hey everybody, welcome back to the underground lair. And man, it's cold down here, but we have today a video on if you're getting somebody a Christmas gift that's a guitar or bass. You're not spending $1,000, $500. You're spending $200-300, but you want it to be a decent instrument. So there's a couple things that you need to know when buying one or before you give it as a gift. Alrighty, on the bench is one of those kind of guitars. It's a Squier Affinity Telecaster. They're really a decent guitar, but because they retail for around $200, you'll see them on sale this time of the year for like $180. At that price point, Fender or Squier, Fender being the parent company, doesn't have the margin in the price to do some of the proper finish work. For instance, the fret ends go longer than the edge of the fingerboard. That could be best shown like this here. That will tear up your hand while you're playing. It's just not in the budget to do that. Setting the string height for all the pickups, or for all the strings, setting the relief, which is, it could either go like this, or it can go like this, or it can be straight. You want to have a little bit of a bow in the neck, in other words, relief, where kind of does this, but in a very, very, very small way. They also ship them with really cheap strings, usually no name, and in the case of this guitar, the fitment of the neck into the pocket isn't very good, because I can tell that by looking at the string height, which is high, almost 7/64 where the body joint is. So the string height is high, but if you look at, we come across here, the set screws here, in the picture, they're all sticking up and they're going to grab your hand as you're playing, right? So we have to shim the neck. That means the neck's going to be like this a little bit. So we're going to put a little piece of non-compressible plastic underneath here, so the neck's got to come off. So when you're buying a guitar for somebody for the holidays, these are things to consider. The other things that I want to throw in there is they don't use super high grade tuners. The electronics are pretty much as cheap as they go. They still make sound and stuff, but as far as durability over time, different story altogether. So I am going to get the neck off of here, since it's got to come off anyway, to put a shim under here. The shim is going to go into the neck pocket in here, and it's going to raise up the neck a little bit so that these aren't going to be ripping your hands apart. So let me do that and we'll come back. One thing they did get right is the string height at the first fret. That often is not right either. If you have to work too hard to play, if you're a beginner and you're taking lessons online, virtually or whatever, and you have to work too hard to make the chords, you're more likely to give up. So let me get on that. Hopefully my space heater kicks in and I'll stop having a shake in my voice, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, so to get rid of your sharp fret ends, let's see here, get this right oriented. This little tool here gives you the proper angle and it'll take away the sharp fret ends. And then you come in with a little file that I have, and that will take away the sharpness that this leaves behind. You can already see on the wood here we have some definitely some I think it's doing it. We have some metal flakes there. Yeah, there's no more hanging over. So we come around here and we do the other side. Still something here at the end. The very end. There we are. Alright, now we use my favorite little file, and that is this file here. It has a safe edge here, square edge there, and file on both sides, so we could take the little feeling that we're having on either side of the fret here and we just round that off. Put the safe side down and we just come over it like so. There we go. I gotta do it 44 more times. No. 43 more times. No, 42 more times. I can't add and do this at the same time. Now, as a Christmas gift to all of you out there in the Pittsburgh area that get a guitar or give a guitar for Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever holiday you happen to celebrate, I will give you this special, which if you go to the big chain store up in Robinson and Monroeville and get their deluxe, what they call their platinum package, they charge over $100 for this. Which, when I say this, I mean doing a setup, which is getting the restringing the guitar, setting the relief of the neck, doing all this work, setting the intonation so that every string, when you play it open and then whenever you fret it at the 12th and play it, it's the same note. I will do that for $50 right here in the underground lair. So the last thing we do is go over it with some 2400 grit micro mesh to give it sort of the wood and the fret sort of a rounded over finish like you'd expect on a real Telecaster from, you know, made in America Telecaster. That one feels a little weird. All right, man, beauty. All right, while I'm at it, since the body is over there, a couple other things I'll explain that I do is these, because wood shrinks, these need to be, these little nuts here need to be tightened, not cranked down, just goosed up so that these don't rattle loose over time and give you tuning instability and kill your sustain. See, there's a long break there and I said sustain. Okay. We're also going to lube this nut here, which is a plastic piece of plastic, and underneath here on the string tree, underneath there, we're going to put some of this Big Ben's, I love saying this, Big Ben's nut sauce. That way everything is lubricated. Every point that the string touches and bends on, including the bridge saddles on the body, the string will not catch in and cause tuning instability problems. And we come across and polish the frets. So whenever you bend your strings, you end up not having all kind of roughness. Rough feeling when you're trying to bend your strings. This is a 600 grit. I'll move all up to 1200. But just so you see what you're getting for your dollar here. Actually, I'll probably go to 1800. And we're not taking the tops off the fret, we're just getting the gunk off. This guitar sat for a while. He told me, quote unquote, I don't play this very much. Maybe I'll play it if it doesn't rip up my hands. Sharp fret ends are no fun. Makes you just not want to play. That's why I'm offering the deal that I'm offering. So you don't go to the big box store and spend all kind of money, more than half of what the money that you spent on the instrument. To get a playable instrument. Okay, so we have our neck frets are all super polished, and we put 2 coats of tongue oil on here and then wiped it down. It's not the kind of thing you want to have marinate on your fingerboard. You just want to let it soak in and seal, and then you take the bag, the paper towels that you use, and you throw them in a bag and you put them by your exit so that you don't leave them in your basement, because they will self-combust. I even turned off the space heater because I don't want to have any sort of lingering odor down here. So, next thing, we have our shim, which is, I'm not going to measure it, but you see it's hard plastic, and I double it up on the size of it. It does not compress. It makes a perfect shim. It's going to go underneath the neck here, right there. Alright, so you see where we're placing our shim here. It's going to go right up against the back of the route, and we're going to put our neck in, and it's going to lift our neck up. That way that our brake angle will be better on the saddles, therefore better sustained. So let me go ahead and install the neck back on the guitar. So when you're reinstalling a neck on a guitar, make sure it's all the way in the pocket. You take your screw and you're going to back it. You're going to like you're unscrewing it, and you hear that click. That was the screw falling into the thread. You don't want to strip out your wood screws. You repeat the process on all of them. There. And just like everything else, whenever you're working with wood, you are not going to try to make it crank down, because you'll strip it. Take it to where it's really snug. That's where you stop. And you go across, kind of like whenever you're doing your putting lug nuts on your car. You get another 1/8 of a turn. Now the neck is reinstalled, the shim is in place, and I know you can't see, but I can see here that the neck is lifted up a little bit, which is a very good thing. Okay, so it's time to restring, and I put some of the the big bends on the underside of the string tree here, and also on the saddles down at the bridge. So I'm going to go ahead and string this up. Like I said, I put it in this way first, see, like from the top. My hand's in the way. From the top in, and I get my spacing. I use the thickness of my palm at the 12th fret. That gives me, there's a little bend to it, as you can see here, but the thickness of my palm without my thumb at the 1st fret. That gives me enough lines. So that's, see what I'm doing here? I'm making sort of a Z out of it. That way it's kind of locked in there. It's not going to slip as I turn the tuner. And you want the wraps to go underneath each wrap before it. And we'll get about 3 wraps here. Two and a half, 3 wraps. And as long as you get 2 wraps on wound strings, that's all you're going to really need, because they grab onto each other with windings. Whenever you're dealing with the plain strings, that's a different story. Once again, we make our Z shape and we tighten the strings. Alright, so we're strung up. Notice I have all the loose strings there. We don't take that down until we are done. There hasn't been any string tension on the neck for about an hour, hour and a half. So we're going to let that sit, and then we're going to come back and let's just, for the heck of it, I'm going to see where I'm at string height wise. And yeah, boy, that shim brought that. I'm actually going to have to raise it a little bit. We will also have to do pickup height adjustment, which, am I going to have to take the pick guard off for this silly thing? It doesn't have an adjustment screw on either side. That's what you get for inexpensive guitars. Dang it! Okay, everybody, welcome back to the underground lair, and this has had tension on it for 5 hours. Got carried away with my running around, and then we had to do a little bit of an adjustment on the truss rod. Let's see if we got where we want to be. We want 10 thousandths at the 7th fret, and we're not quite there. Okie dokie, folks, we have 10 thousandths of relief measured with the capo and the holding it down at the body joint at the 7th fret, which just barely sneaks under there. Making sure the saddles are all flat. Each leg is the same height. Let's see here. Alright, we're at 4 thousandths there. We are at, we could go up there a little bit. We're at 4 thousandths there. We are at 4 thousandths there. We're at 4 thousandths there, we're at 4 thousandths there, and we are at 4 thousandths there. So string height is all right. Let's tune it up to pitch and check the intonation. No, I didn't think so. These saddles are too straight. So it's gonna have to come back a little bit. Let me get my, oh, here it is, right here. A screwdriver. Once again, we're gonna take tension off to move the saddle back. If the string that you're trying to intonate is flat, the saddle moves this way. If the string you're trying to intonate is sharp at the 12th fret, you're going to move the saddle that way. But only after you get your string height and your relief right. So we're going to bring this back some. After you take tension off of the string. We're actually going to bring it back quite a bit. Let's see where that ends up. Okay, still has to come back just a little bit. Okay, we got it. So, I'm going to repeat that for the next 5 strings, and I'll be right back. Good. So, go back over here and check our string height again. We're at 4/64ths. 4/64ths, 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 and 4/64ths. Can't finish that riff. It's illegal. Alright. So, we have got ourselves pickup height to adjust. Let's see, there's where the pickup height adjustment screws are. Doesn't matter if you have a pick guard on there or not. So we may adjust this. The cool thing is we could drop possibly a humbucker, if not a P90 or a Filtertron pickup in there. That'd be cool. If we didn't want just a single coil telly style pickup in there, you can go different. A little bit more. I don't think it was designed to go a little bit more. But we'll see. I think that's the last thing I get out of it. Try a little bit more. It's almost in there. Gonna have to be good enough. And that barely is holding on to that. Let's go over to our treble side. That needs to come up just a hair. That's good. Back to our bass side. I know that has to come up. Perfect. Alright. We are good. Just put the pick guard back on here. And I want to remind all of you Christmas shoppers, whether you're buying a used instrument or whether you're buying somebody a new instrument, whatever you do, either after you give it to them or before you give them to them, bring them to Stringman Guitars here in the underground lair. We will do a full setup, including making sure that your frets are shined and your sharp fret ends are taken care of, the string height at the 1st fret, the string height at the 12th fret, the intonation, the overall string height, the pickup height. Everything is set the way it should, and we'll charge you $50. That's, I think, 100 or no, that's, I think it's at least $75 cheaper than what you're going to pay at the big box store, whose name will remain nameless, but we know who we're talking about. Kind of like the warmth of the ceramic pickup that they chose to put in here. This is number 2. Nice. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to yet another episode of Stringman Guitars from the Underground Lair. Yeah, the COVID numbers are going up. Take care of your neighbors. Be nice to people. Wear a mask when the shot in the arm comes out. Get the vaccination. That's it. I mean, I understand there's some people that have allergies and stuff like that, but those who can get it, please get it, because there's people like me who are immunosuppressant that don't want to get this thing. And I want to get back to doing what I do as opposed to doing this. This is side when I can help somebody out, you know. Meantime, I'm just dog watching. So, anyhow, please subscribe, like us on YouTube, and subscribe, and hit the little bell, and check us out on Facebook, Stringman Guitars. And if you're in the Pittsburgh area, you need your axe sharpened like this. give me a call. I'm on Facebook. Instant message. See ya.